So I already did the easy mode for this Odyssey, it's time to do the medium. And without skipping a beat, I'm just going to jump into it. The layout that I'm bringing is the one that defaults when you click on the Odyssey. The first map is extremely simple. It only goes up to wave 50, so we're dealing with, I think, what? 2 or 3 Moabs and some camos and leads. I also believe the prices were medium, so it's not hard, not easy, it's right in the middle for the prices. But we're playing in reverse standard, so the map goes backwards. And I'd say that you can even argue that it might be easier to do this map backwards. Right off the bat, we get a bend, and bends are just incredible for a lot of balloon popping. The default set of monkeys you get doesn't bring attack shooter, but if you want to bring attack shooter, that would make this really easy. But because we don't have attack shooter, we have to think of something else, and that house in the corner of the bend can be kind of annoying to deal with. You could try bouncing like a juggernaut or something off of it, but that's not really worth it, so my thought was to go with a glaive ricochet. Boomerangs can actually throw around the house anyway, which makes them a perfect fit for it, but a glaive ricochet is just really good for popping a whole lot of balloons. So if you set up your boomerang the way I did, the early boomerang can throw their boomerangs around the house so it's not a problem, and then you can just upgrade it to something that destroys every balloon. So I got a glaive ricochet and then went with red hot rings, that way it can pop leads. But let's not forget, I also threw Quincy down just because he's very effective for how cheap he is. He'll help with the camos so you don't have to worry as much until later on. And I guess I should also mention I placed my free dart monkey in the back, but he's just there in case I leak a couple reds or blues or something early on. Now with this boomerang we have, we're already set up for leads, so we don't have to worry about leads. For the early camos, Quincy can actually handle it all on his own. He might have to use his ability here or there, but he should be able to handle them just fine. But I also have the monkey knowledge that lets him start at level 3, so it depends on what you have. You see the towers we do have supplied, we have some pretty good options for Moabs, but I like to go for something very cheap when I'm only going up to wave 50. And the cheapest stuff I can think of are always primary monkeys, and the best thing I can think of for Moabs are either a bomb shooter or a boomerang monkey. Now, we weren't supplied a bomb shooter, so we're not going for a Moab mauler, which leaves boomerang monkeys, so we go for a Moab press. And then if we have our glaive ricochet and a Moab press, we're able to deal with every lead. Now we just have to worry about camos, which is why I place a village down and get that to a camo buff. And then at that point, you just kind of win. Your Moab press isn't going to let any Moabs through. Your glaive ricochet is not going to let any balloons leak out. And your radar scanner makes it so camos don't become a problem. And that's an easy wave 50. Now for the second map, if you saw my first video doing this Odyssey, you'll know that this is an extremely easy map. But we don't have attack shooter this time around, so we're going to have to think of something else. We are going up to wave 60 this time, which means that Moabs are a little bit more of an issue, and we'll make a lot more cash. So my late game goal is, if I need to get it, I'm going to try to get a Glaive Lord. So if I were to save up the money and get that at any point, it's just an easy win. Glaive Lord can already see camos with the boomerangs going around him, and you just give him red hot rings and you're fine with leads. It's the same thing as the first map. But then you have the problem with the Moab on wave 40, because you're not going to get a tier 5 by wave 40. Unless it's like a really cheap tier 5 and you're farming or something like that. But we're not doing that in this case. Now you could do another Moab press, that's a very simple and cheap solution, or I decided I'll try Monkey Pirates. I believe they just got buffed recently or something, so I wanted to see just how strong this tower is. And it also gets to be in a great position where it can hit all the balloons as it goes around in that square. Now the thing with Monkey Pirates is it is a middle path tier 4, which means it has an ability. The ability for a Monkey Pirate is to hook in a Moab. It'll hook in only one. It'll be Moab, BFB, I think you can do a ZOMG, but it can't do a bad balloon. But that's pretty much like your get out of jail free card for wave 40 or anything with a couple of Moabs. But it doesn't matter, we don't even need to use the ability because this tower is just incredibly strong on its own. I did cross path with Crow's Nest to see camos because our Boomerang Monkey still can't see it. And Quincy's not going to be able to deal with every camo the later you get. But I quickly found out that the Monkey Pirate is an insanely good tower. The popping power on it is really high. There's cannons, the grape shot, the hot shot. It does a lot of DPS pretty quick to normal balloons. On top of having really good Moab damage too, along with its ability. But because of that, we're able to breeze through all the waves after we get it. I do get enough money for a Glaive Lord, so it doesn't even matter what happens after that. And funny enough, the ability is able to pull in BFBs, so wave 60 is just hit one button and it's over. And with that, map 2 is also done easy peasy. Well, what about the third map, you might say? That's military only, and alright, well our strategy might have to change a little bit. First off, we're only going up to wave 50, just like the first map, so we don't have too much to worry about. But it also has a lot of water in the middle of the map, which is perfect for military monkeys when you have boats and subs. So really all we have to do is go for another monkey pirate, and we kind of just win. And that's exactly what I did. I placed Quincy so he can deal with early camos, and then I put a boat down, helps pop everything, gets a lot of coverage, a lot of range, because I also give that camo. And after you get your monkey pirate, you don't really have to place anything else down. Moabs become easy peasy because you have the ability and do a lot of damage. Balloons become pretty simple because it does so much DPS. But just to be safe, throw down another tower because you don't want to accidentally lose a bunch of lives or anything. So I threw down an Operation Dartstorm. I like how the tower looks. I like what it does, is what it is. And another really easy map to complete for this Odyssey. Now the last map is the hardest of the bunch. Now of course it's not really saying much and this map isn't too difficult, but I did screw up a little bit in my playtime. I wanted to see if I could pull off a glaive ricochet here, which it does work, but it doesn't seem very effective for this map all that much. And it's not even worth putting Quincy down. By the end of this, he got like no pops at all. And I thought it'd be kind of fun to go for a middle path bomber plane. It's actually pretty easy to be on or around the track in this map. So especially if you have the monkey knowledge where bomber aces will only place their bombs on the track, it's not a bad option. Now, when the Moab showed up, I kind of screwed up a little bit. I was going to try getting a tier 4 middle path spike machine, but I was like maybe 100 or 200 bucks off of being able to buy it, so it kind of sucked a little bit. So I needed to quit out, come back in, and then I didn't have a plan, so I had to quit out and come back in again. That's what you see in the footage at some point. But when I do come back, I decided to just go for a Moab press. It's simple, it's cheap, and very effective. And after that point, I just decided, hey, I'll grab a Juggernaut because it looks like there's some walls on this map. I'll grab another Moab press for the other side, and then I'll just grab another Juggernaut to throw in because why not? And I decided to just get an Ultra Juggernaut because why not? There's a decent amount of walls on this map, especially if they start shooting inwards towards the town. That's a bunch of walls there. So it turns out Juggernaut and Ultra Juggernaut are actually very effective on this map and will pop a lot of balloons. So as sloppy as my run was, it was just fine in the end. If you wanted to maybe go for something a little more interesting, you could get rid of the water on the top or the bottom and go for like a monkey pirate again. I'm sure that would do the job just fine. You could also maybe go for a sniper, sub, different fighter plane. There are a lot of options to go with here. But I did forget to mention this is technically hard mode, so the prices are more expensive than the other maps. We're also going up to wave 65, which means ceramics and Moabs do become more problematic. Which also makes Juggernaut stronger because it does more damage against ceramics. I guess you can also see I did make a radar scanner in the middle for camo popping, but besides that, not too bad, pretty simple map. It shouldn't be too hard. And that's about it for today. This is one of my daily uploads up until Christmas, so I have a collage playing in the background to commemorate the videos and the days I've had leading up to Christmas. If you liked, leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and besides that, just have a good day.